Didn't know if you're going to do.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have waited for some minutes just to let people join, and then we think now it's time that we can get started. My name is Jimmy Kayange, and I'll be the host for this session this evening. And I would like to welcome you once again to this session. And thank you very much for making that decision of joining this session. It will be a very interesting session where we are going to learn a lot about some of the opportunities that we have been missing, maybe because we didn't have the information. And then today we are lucky that we have some people who are willing to share that information for free. So this evening, you're going to be with me, Jimmy Kayange, and we are going to have our special guest, Mervis Nyirenda, who has also joined this session. Just a brief background of who Mervis is. Mervis is a communications professional. She's an alumni of 2 fellowships, the Young African Leaders Initiative, in short, it's called YALI. And then she's also an alumni of the Global Health Corps Fellowship. She's an events planner and an entrepreneur. So we are going to learn a lot from her experience in both fellowships and her own initiatives that have also helped her to find herself in those fellowships. So she'll make a presentation, and then at some point we're going to open the floor for you to ask questions. And of course, I'm also available to take some of the questions because I'm also a YALI alumni. So I've been part of a number of fellowships myself. But before we get started, maybe we give each other just 2 minutes where you write in the chat box your name and where you have joined this session from. So we know who are in this session. And I just wanted also to mention that as Executive Age Coaching and Training, we have organized this session just to make sure that young people are able to come together to share information, and then they should also be able to grab opportunities when they come. So we are a platform for networking and also a platform where we are sharing different opportunities. So after this session, you're also free to join our WhatsApp groups where we are sharing different opportunities every day. And also feel free to contact some of us when you are applying for some of these fellowships to be assisted during your fellowship applications. So in the chat box, you can just write your name, who you are and where you are joining this session from. And then in 2 minutes, we start the session by asking Mervis to start the presentation. Of course, she will start with self-introduction as well. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for the introductions. I can see many names from people who are in Brantaya, and of course some from Lilongwe, Caroline from Dowa, Matthews Brantaya, Sunganani from Sarima, Daniel from Lilongwe, Comfort from Chileka, Chisomo from Brantaya. Then we have John from Brantaya as well, UNIMA student. Thank you guys for joining. Jen, you're asking for the WhatsApp group link. I'll share that. Just stay tuned. I'll share that in the chat box at some point. And you're also free to like and follow our Facebook page, Executive Age Coaching and Training, to stay updated of our next sessions and trainings. So we are also having different trainings for young people, young professionals, just to make sure that you're upskilled. All right, so this is the moment that we have been waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Mervis Nyirenda to this session. As I mentioned, she will start with a self-introduction and then she will share the screen. She has a presentation to make, and then at some point, I think around 8, she will leave. So we are going to make sure that she presents and she finishes before 8, so that she takes some questions, and those questions that she can't take because maybe she by that time she'll be done and have left. I'm also here just to take those questions. So welcome, Mervis, and now the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for the introduction as well as the welcome remarks. Yes, my name is Mervis Nyirenda, and I am working as a communications officer with Riders for Health, Malawi, where we do medical sample transportation. I am an alumni for Global Health Core Fellowship as well as the Young African Leaders Initiative. I am also a certified drone pilot. I did drone piloting with ADDA, that's the African Drone and Data Academy, which is currently operating at MAST. And I am currently pursuing my MBA in Organizational Leadership with University of Malawi, and I have a bachelor's degree from MUBAS, formerly known as the Polytechnic, where I studied Bachelor of Business Communication. So this evening, we are going to share tips and tactics of fellowship application as Jimmy has highlighted. So I'll share my screen. Let me know once you see it. Let me know if you can see my screen. Anyone, you can unmute and let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you so much.
We can see it.
All right, thank you for the feedback. So considering that today is a Sunday, like we have to be preparing for tomorrow. Some will be doing businesses, work, school. So like, yeah, we have like 18 slides, but like the content is not so much. So I'll just go through it and then we'll have a Q&A section at the end. I'll start by, I wish I could define a fellowship, but I found it a challenge. So I just came up with characteristics of a fellowship. So from here, I'm sure you can have a good picture of what a fellowship is. Yep. So a fellowship is structured. Usually it has a time limit. For some fellowships, they run for a month, 2, 3, or up to a year or 2. Fellowships usually offer practical experience which assist in building skills that is mostly acquired through programs like mentorship. Fellowships are hosted by universities. Some are hosted by non-profit organizations, government institutions, as well as companies. And they usually include a stipend. They also offer opportunities for networking as well as mentorship. So there's one question that a number of people have asked me before, and that's what's the difference between a fellowship and a job. So when we talk about a fellowship, mostly there's emphasis on learning, research, as well as professional development. So when you go into the organization where they place you, mostly it's not just about you delivering to the organization, but they also want you to learn something. They also want to develop your skill. Unlike a job where mostly is they want to see you fulfill the organizational roles, like you have to make sure they tick on the job description that they give you. Secondary fellowships have a career start as well as end date. For instance, I remember when we were doing the Young African Leaders Initiative, we started somewhere end July and ended somewhere in August. So that was like, I think it was all for 8 weeks, like, because we had to stay for like 3 weeks in person and we had like 4 weeks virtual. While for the Global Health Core Fellowship, it was for 13 months, which is like a year and a month. While for jobs, they classify them into like mostly 2. Some are temporary, others are permanent, and others are operational focus. On the fellowships, they are usually targeted for early career individuals, mostly like fellowships mostly appeal to fresh graduates. And for jobs, you require to have experience, working experience before you join an organization, which is like a challenge to most of us, the youth, since like we're coming from school and we don't have the number of years that they're looking for. So sometimes like the fellowship is a bit flexible on that. Lastly, fellowships usually offer stipends. So like stipend is like the pay that they give you. So it's not necessarily a salary, they call it a stipend. While for a job, they typically provide full salary and benefits. Now we go to the actual meat, which are the fellowship application tips. So if you have questions, you can just take note of them so that we have like the Q&A session at the end, so you can ask me those questions there. So before we dive into the application tips, I just wanted to let you know that most fellowships or even scholarships have schemes or sustainable development goals which they're in support of. For this case, the first step in our preparation for the application process is tailoring the application to the scheme or sustainable development goal. I'll give an example of the Global Health Core Fellowship. It is in support of Sustainable Development Goals 3 and 10. So Sustainable Development Goal 3 talks about health and well-being, and Sustainable Development Goal 10 talks about reduced inequalities. So when you're drafting your application, make sure it's tailored to the Sustainable Development Goal which the fellowship is in support of. First, you're supposed to check the guidelines of the scheme or fellowship in general. Read the assessment criteria for the fellowship and draft your application around that assessment. This package is very important because it gives the reviewer a picture that you're conversant with their work and you can make a good fit. Secondly, we have you're supposed to seek support. I'd say like it's very, very important to ask for like a second eye to your draft before you actually submit it. So you have to find the mentor. You can choose someone who is an alumni of the fellowship you're applying for. It can be your colleague or a friend you know is very good with crafting winning applications. Then you're supposed to contact the mentor or reviewer in good time so that they're able to plan and include you in their plans. There's a certain quote that I saw somewhere, I just don't remember where, but it said, the best fellowship application is not written alone. And I found it true as I was applying for the fellowships that I've been part of. Thirdly, you're supposed to provide the added value that the fellowship will present to you. Like this is an explanation of how the fellowship will benefit your career in terms of the development of your needed skills. And you also explain how your skills will benefit the fellowship, because most of these opportunities that we are applying for, like the fellowship, even jobs or scholarships, they are usually a give and take. You work to assist towards the achievement of their mission while they work on developing your skill and like adding value to you as in your career as well as your profession. The other important too is you have to give yourself time, because from experience, and I'm sure you can agree with me, that usually when you're preparing something during the last minute, you can miss out important information. So most of these fellowships, they come with a number of requirements that you're supposed to send, you're supposed to review, you're supposed to find out from maybe your supervisors and all that. So if you do not give yourself time and prepare for all that, it's possible to miss out important information. So I think this is the last one. The last one, you're supposed to have a checklist. By having a checklist, this will assist you because it's like a guideline for what you shouldn't miss. Make sure you find a mentor in good time. You obtain all the supporting documents, like most fellowships require you to have a reference from your academic institution, be it your workplace. So make sure you have those in good time, because let's say the fellowship is closing in 2 days and you'd like to have your transcript from your institution, and maybe they need almost 2 weeks to have it processed and send it to you. That means you're going to miss that opportunity. So if you're applying for an opportunity like a fellowship, scholarship, make sure you obtain those documents in good time. And make sure you also have evidence of leadership and have publications. So if you're doing some work in your community, it is very important to have a page, let's say, or you have like a LinkedIn page where you post what you do, because that's like the evidence that the reviewer can easily look at when they're trying to find the evidence of the work that you do. For those who write, like if you have publications, make sure you publish them. And when you're doing your applications, share the links to your publications or share the links to your LinkedIn page so that they are able to see your work. Another thing, you're supposed to check the eligibility criteria as well as the deadline so that you don't miss and you don't work under pressure. From here, we move on to, like, this is one important part that mostly we tend to miss. But when you're considering of applying for a fellowship, we are supposed to consider the 3 P's of fellowship application, and they include the project, the person, and the place. So under the project, you need to have a project proposal, have a budget and work plan, as well as a data management plan. And make sure like all this information that you're having are aligning with the funders guideline. You're also supposed to talk about your project, how important it is, why you think it's feasible, its originality, and showcase the quality of your project. That's under the project. Under the person, now we're talking about you. For this one, you are supposed to talk about your past record, why you want that fellowship at the current stage of your life, your future trajectory, and this assists the reviewer to understand why you're fit for the fellowship. The last one is the place. So on the place, like mostly the reviewer wants to know your fit for the fellowship goal. They want to know your networking skill. Are you able to collaborate with people? Like, where have you worked with people? Like, they want to understand, are you able to work with people from different backgrounds, things like those. And they also want to know how you benefit from the fellowship and how the fellowship benefits from you. As I said, it's a give and take. Yep. Now we are starting our application process. Like most of the things that we needed to have, like we've checked the eligibility. We are done like with most of the eligibility questions, and then we're diving into the essays, which is like the qualifying thing, what qualifies us for the fellowship or makes us be left out. So we under the essay development, it's very important to use the STAR technique. STAR technique is this is like an acronym for situation, task, action, and result. So we'll break them into 4 so that we can clearly explain and understand what it means. Under situation, it's very important to take note of time, place, and goal. So most fellowships, they'll ask you, tell us of a time when you were able to manage a project. Tell us of a time when you're able to resolve a conflict. So in those circumstances, you're supposed to talk about the project you've ever managed, talk about a conflict that you've ever resolved. I've given an example here, like if they have asked you of a project that you've been able to handle or manage. If you started like this, like you're talking about the situation. In 2022, I championed the efforts of ABC organization in an initiative aimed at ending the spread of polio. And then you give a brief background, like what happened, like you can even explain like the statistics or the number of people who were diagnosed with polio at that time, the year, like you started the project in 2022, but was polio spread in that year? Did it start in 2021? Like you explain under that. But if you started this way, like the reader will be captivated to read your essay. Under task, you describe your role under the initiative that you talked about. So when you're talking about the role, your role, make sure you talk about yourself as the protagonist of the project. Like talk about yourself as if you were not there, the project would have happened. So I've given an example of how like you can structure that part. So this cannot be in one paragraph. So you go like, my main objective was to organize a fundraising campaign. I led my team to collaborate with ABC companies. So you mentioned the companies, the organizations, and other important stakeholders like the media, partner organizations. So this shows your collaboration skills. We move on to the action that you did. What did you do after like identifying the organizations you can work with and all that? What did you do? You say from the fundraising initiative, the one that you led, I led my team in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. Now you're being specific, local leaders and healthcare workers in Lilongwe, where the first polio case was recorded. So like your case can be different. You can be talking about education. You can be talking about ending poverty, ending early marriages and all that. And the last action is the result under the STAR technique. This is where you show the outcome and make sure you quantify your results, because we are attracted to figures like more than just letters. Like people who are in M&D understands better. And you're also supposed to be authentic. Don't just put the figures if they're not what you really achieved. So the state can lead. With my team, we identified 20 health centers in need of test kits and medicine. We managed to raise 45 million, exceeding our estimated budget with 5%. So like I said, you're not supposed to lie. You talk about the actual figures that you managed to raise and the actual number of, there can be schools, health facilities, the underprivileged that you were able to identify and assist. That's all under the STAR technique. And now we move on to the do's and don'ts. When doing your application, like one thing that I usually emphasize is like being authentic about your skills, your experience. Of course, people say sometimes just lie, but it comes a time when you lie to your essays, mostly like the reviewers, or the interviewers, they ask you most of the questions from the essays that you wrote. So it might happen that you have forgotten that you lied. That's why I usually emphasize on being authentic about your skills and experiences. You're supposed to use this STAR approach because it assists you to make sure you tackle like all the sections and you make it a complete essay when you're writing. So if you have been given 4 essays for each and every essay, when doing your explanations, when telling your story, make sure you use the STAR approach for each and every question. Another thing that you're supposed to do is research about the fellowship and know how it aligns with the target sustainable development goals. This is very, very important. And have an application tracker, like I said, under the checklist. Things that we're not supposed to do is lying. We're not supposed to focus on our personality, but rather the work that we are doing in the community. And we're not supposed to rush. Like that's why I talked about giving ourselves time so that we do our research, we find mentors, there are people who are there to review our work before we finally send through our application. This link, I think I'll just copy it and post it in the chat so that you can go through it. There are a number of fellowships that you can learn more about from this link. Yep. So rather than that, I can open up the floor for questions and answers. Thank you, and over.
All right, thank you very much, Mervis, for such a wonderful presentation and very brief, straight to the points. And I'm sure the participants have really enjoyed. I think before people start asking, someone has asked for the presentation if it can be shared. I think I'll share in our WhatsApp group if we can share it as a PDF. So those of you who are in the WhatsApp group, you get it. And at the same time, in the next 48 hours, you're going to find this presentation on our YouTube channel, Executive Age Coaching and Training. So before you get questions from other people, I wanted you just to share a brief background or history of yourself, your participation in fellowships. You have mentioned about YALI and also Global Health. Just some experiences that you have had with YALI and also with Global Health.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. So I'll start with the Global Health Core Fellowship because it was my first fellowship. There's a lot that I learned during that fellowship. One thing that it assisted me with is it gave me confidence because for most of the sessions that we are meeting in person, we were supposed to do presentations. And through that fellowship, I got to make a lot of friends. Like they offered me a wide range of network. So I have friends from a number of countries whom I can always reach out to for any kind of assistance that I want. And even during the fellowship, I was able to reach out to like some of our leaders who were like based in the US, based in Uganda, Rwanda, like people who are working in comms. They were always there when I needed support in my role because like for the Global Health Core Fellowship, they were placing us in health related organizations. So the colleagues and the networks that I made during the fellowship assisted me set on the role because like I was able to get different pictures of how people are doing comms related stuff in their different countries as well as different organizations. So like we had a community for people who are working in communications. So we're able to share experiences, like coach each other on how best we can perform in our role. So that's one thing that it assisted me with. As I've said, like my public speaking skills, they were also assisting us on how best we can craft like these winning applications, like drafting our CVs and stuff like those. And also just being given an opportunity to work on other different projects, like not just having knowledge on one specific health related project, but a number of them. And there's a continued collaboration with other people who have been under the fellowship because we have a community of alumni. So we are still working like for different coalitions. So we are still in touch, and there's still more that I'm still learning up to now. But it's been 2 years since I left the fellowship, but I'm still in the alumni community. And then I joined the YALI fellowship, and I can say the same about YALI. I met people from different countries, and now for YALI, like we met like people from a number of in over 10 countries, I think. So like we still keep in touch. And currently, I have my group of mentees as well. So I'm able to invite some people that I was with at YALI, I was with at Globe Health, so they can come in and like give some talk to the group of people that I had. And even like that's how I met Jimmy, like because we are all alumni from the YALI initiative. So yeah, I can say that's how the fellowship has been of so much help to me.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to add something from what Mervis has presented. She mentioned about avoiding lying when you are making your application. Sometimes we are using Chat GPT, and then you come up with a lot of good words or statements about what you have done or what you are. It's very important that we present ourselves and what we do, and we should be proud of what we are doing, because that also helps you to remember what you applied for. And of course, when you are applying for a fellowship, it's very important to keep a copy, or a copy of what you reload, because usually there are essays. So these essays, you need to keep them in your computer and your phone, because personally, I've been part of reviewing applications, because with my experience with YALI, I've been involved so much in reviewing applications as well as interviewing people to come into the fellowships. You find someone applied for a fellowship, but during interviews cannot even present the same project which he said or she said she has been implementing. It is very important that when you are applying for a fellowship, already you should have some initiatives that you are already learning, not just presenting plans. I want to do this with the girls. I want to do this with the boys. I want to start tree planting. It should be something that you have already started. So whether you are a student or you are a fresh graduate or a young professional, apart from what you are doing in your position right now, you might have some initiatives that you are learning in your community. Be proud of those initiatives. And then, as Mavis mentioned, it is also more about statistics. How many people are you impacting with those initiatives? Uh, it doesn't make sense in an application where we say we are reaching to many young girls. Many young girls won't count. At least if you say 500 girls, 1,000 girls, those are the figures that are needed in your applications. We are reaching out to 50% of boys with ABCD information. That's what is needed, not many young girls. At least we reach to more people in 2024. No. And then you need also to, whatever you're doing, you need to post in your social media pages, because you might also need your Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever platform as a reference in your application, because the reviewers might need to see some of the things that you're already doing. And we are talking about fully funded fellowships. These are fully funded fellowships. Of course, they want fund for your passport. If you have a passport, that would be good. Sometimes you apply for a fellowship and then the time comes and then you don't have a passport. That's also, sometimes people have missed opportunities because of that. You should also, as a young person, invest in having a passport as a requirement or as part of the qualifications that you have apart from the certificates, because flying is not something that we should think it's a special thing for some people. Even you can fly anytime. I think Mervis and myself, we can share with you that we have really went to many countries. We haven't paid for those trips. So what you do, you need to be very proud of that. And as she has mentioned, I think fellowships have given us friends. She has mentioned about YALI. YALI, if you are taken, then you are meeting people from 14 countries. So you end up having friends in 14 countries. Yeah, I just wanted to add on this. And then we are still getting questions. One of the questions that Mervis, someone has asked, I think it's Akim, says, what is your what are some of the areas of regret you have or had during or after your fellowship?
Okay, I'll start with during the fellowship. During most of the fellowship, like all the two fellowships, my greatest regret was, why did I know them now? Like I wish I knew them earlier. Uh, Another regret is, okay, when you're doing the fellowship, sometimes you find yourself just being restricting yourself to a certain group of people and not interacting with everyone so that you can gain like a wider network. I think that's also one regret that I have. Like, okay, there are specific people that I was like my go-to people. So I wish I was like just very open-minded, like meeting a lot of people, interacting with them. Because like after the fellowship, I found out like maybe someone would reach out to me on LinkedIn, like, oh, maybe can we work together on this project? And then I'm like, okay, so you also do this? Yeah, I do this, but because we didn't interact during the fellowship, I didn't know about it. So it's like one of the regrets. Like if had we known, at least would have established something like from an area stage. And after the fellowship, I don't think I have any regrets. I'm just very grateful like for the opportunities that I was given. Like Jimmy has said, it's not just a fellowship, it's also an opportunity to explore. So it's not just exploring professional things. We have also like made these friends. We have traveled, and yeah, I think I don't really have a regret after the fellowship.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot that happens after fellowship. I did not meet with Mavis during a fellowship. I met with her after, and
Yeah, yeah,
we were in different cohorts. I think you were cohort 24, in the year 24 for YALI.
yeah. I was in cohort 23.
So
No, 25.
I was in cohort 5 in 2018, but I met Mavis in 2024. So it means
Yeah,
after the fellowship, there are also other platforms that you can meet as alumni. I met with Mervis in Cape Town, where we met as alumni for many years, and it was really a very good platform that we met. And also in this session, we are joined by Jose Capango from Angola. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. And thank you so much, Mervis. Nice to see all of you again.
Thank you.
Jose, I didn't know you're here.
I was
Welcome.
here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so I think I think after fellowship, I would say, even myself, I don't regret. I've participated in more than maybe 3 fellowships, apart from YALI. There's Mandela Washington Fellowship and other fellowships that Mervis has mentioned. I think there are no regrets after the fellowship. Personally, I would say I regretted on behalf of someone when last year, when not last year, 2023, I think, the cohort which Jose was part of. Jose was a participant, and I went there as someone who was hosting that team in South Africa. I was called by YALI after my graduation 2018. I was called in 2023 to host. So as a host, people were reporting to me when they are going out, especially at night, because in South Africa, you need to make sure that you are safe. So one of the guys, because Melvis mentioned about stipends, where you are given money, but then it wasn't cash. You were given Visa cards as participants with money loaded in your card. But then every transaction that you do, the University of South Africa could see. So one of the participants uh, told me that he's sick, he has gone to the hospital, and then he missed classes, and then he did not go to the hospital, went out drinking. So when swiping, the messages were going to UNISA. So I was told that the guy that you reported that is sick is swiping alcohol. And the moment he came, I was told to sign that this guy should be taken out of the fellowship, and I had to escort the guy. He was a South African, and I had to travel 2 hours just to drop him home. So I regretted, because once you are blacklisted for such fellowships, your opportunities even for future fellowships are very slim. So we need also to appreciate that when you are taken for a fellowship, it might sound to be a fully funded, but even free things, there are people who have paid for those free things. So it is important also to behave. So it was something that for a young person like that one to be blacklisted, it wasn't good. So yeah, we really need to take opportunities and then have a responsibility over them. Yeah. Yes, maybe Jose, you might also have something to share before we continue taking questions.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Jimmy. And before I actually say something, I would like to congratulate Mervis for the wonderful presentation. You did very,
Thank
very well, Mervis. I really appreciate it. And also, Jimmy, congratulations for organizing such a wonderful initiative. The thing that I have to say is that I've also met Jimmy and Mervis. I've met Jim twice in Cape Town and Johannesburg, both in the YALI program fellowship, and I actually met Mervis in Cape Town also in last year. So fellowships are always important, and we should always take them too seriously because they are life-changing opportunities. And it's always wonderful because we keep meeting interesting people, wonderful connection, fantastic opportunities that will always change our lives. So, because we have this kind of opportunity that Jimmy is actually organizing, we should be taking this very seriously because we start from zero, but we will never end up like the way we started. Today, many of us are actually attending this webinar, but tomorrow, most of us will actually have the opportunity of joining fellowships, fully funded. And of course, one of the elements that Jimmy actually pointed out is actually the possibility of having passport. It's really, really crucial that anybody who is actually interested in applying for international fellowship should always be ready of having a passport. I just want to say thank you so much for having met Mavis and also having met Jimmy. Thank you so much. I hope this initiative continues, and I'd like to see all of you again once again in the future. Thank you so much. Maybe throughout the presentation, I'll have some opportunity to answer the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then there's someone who has asked about YALI. What is YALI and what are the S's? So YALI is an abbreviation for Young African Leaders Initiative. And then the S's that we are talking about, when you're applying for the fellowship, there are questions which are there. So you are responding to the questions, and each question has a word limit. So those are the S's that we are talking about. Yeah. Okay, we are still getting questions, guys. Or Mervis, maybe you have remembered something. You can also keep on speaking as we are waiting for the questions.
Okay, I wanted to add on the essays. I saw someone asked about, like, can you talk more about the essays? So the essays, just like I highlighted during my presentation, the common ones, there are these common essays, even when you Google, like even before you attempt the questions, you can just Google and say like common questions during fellowships, like, or you can even specify towards the fellowship that you're applying for. So you find out that some fellowship, most of them, they ask like, tell us of a time when you managed a project. So when you're talking about that question, when you're tackling that question, make sure you explain like the project that you've worked on. It does not necessarily mean you have to talk about the project you're working at your workplace. If you're not working, that's fine. But maybe you've worked on a certain project, you just do you volunteer. Talk about that project. Maybe you're helping uh, underprivileged students somewhere. Talk about it. What are you doing about it? Just talk about initiatives like those and what inspired you to start those particular initiatives. For instance, you can say, I remember there's a time when I was doing Maestro's leadership project when I was still at University of Malawi, the Polytechnic. So I was the deputy coordinator for the project. So we were given, that time it was $1,000, yeah, from the Maestro's leadership company to work on a project that was named Academic Armor Project. It was aimed at assisting underprivileged students by providing them with uniforms. So if I'm to write about that project, I have to say this year we realized that this number of students were dropping out because they were being sent out of school because they did not have school uniforms. So like a group of Maestro's leadership team from University of Malawi, we identified 100 students from Manje community in Blantyre, and then we were able to use the $1,000 that we were funded by Maestro's leadership company to buy materials for the school uniforms, and we were able to have them made and donated to the students, something like that. That's, you're talking about the project, but I have used the STAR approach. I've talked about the situation, the task that we were given, the action that happened, and the result that we got. Like we were able to grace this particular number of students. Like that's how you approach the essays. If you have more questions, I think we can still discuss more on the essays after the conversation. Maybe you can reach out to Jimmy. Yeah. Over to you, Jim.
Right. Patience has asked the question. The YALI Mandela Fellowship is still currently ongoing after the whole USAID termination. What other fellowships would you recommend? Yeah, for the YALI, now they have suspended their programs. Maybe they'll start again, but the Mandela Fellowship is still happening. As we are speaking now, we have one cohort which is in progress now. We have Malawians and many people who are in the US right now for a period of 6 weeks. So the Mandela Washington is still happening, and I think the new call for applications will come shortly. Usually it comes in I think August, September. So just be on the lookout. That's why it is also important to keep on following our pages, because we'll update you once that is out. And then if you Google online, you are going to find more fellowships, and yeah, and even as executive age coaching and training, now we have a website, a premium website, where they are posting these things. So we'll keep on sharing every week whatever we find, so that people can apply. So just let's keep in touch through our pages. You keep on seeing most of these fellowships. And then it is important that, as Mervis said, if you're applying for the fellowship, you need also to ask for some support from those who have done or have experience with the fellowships, like Mervis, and then they can check your essays and then also help you to make sure that what you are submitting has many chances that you can be picked. So many of us, because we have done it, we are very flexible to help. What is important, of course, is for us to see if we have time, but we can always organize to help you. Yeah. So
Yeah, and just to add, in the presentation as well as in the chat, I've shared the link to some of the fellowships that people can access. We currently also have one that is under government. They are calling it Emerging Public Leaders Fellowship. Yeah, so like there's a link that I've shared in the chat, and it's also in the presentation. So yeah, you can access on that link and you'll be able to see the fellowships that are available.
yes. Okay. So we are still having time. You have the time to ask questions. I'll share also the Facebook page, our Facebook page link. You can follow us on that link, and I also shared the WhatsApp group link. You can also join our group so that you stay updated. And as I mentioned that we are also having different trainings, I wanted also to share with you that some of the trainings that we'll be having shortly will be about how you can start your initiatives. Sometimes maybe you are lost how to get started. We are very flexible to help you start initiatives, especially when we know what you are passionate about. So it's not just because people are doing this and that and then you start doing the same. No. And usually when you are applying, you need to show that your initiatives are unique from what other people have been doing. For example, we see many people having projects to do with sanitary pads, reusable sanitary pads. How different is yours? That is also very important when you are making applications. I met someone, I think the cohort for Jose Kapango, we had a girl from Madagascar. She's also using she's also implementing a project, her own project in training communities about the reusable sanitary pads and share providing those pads to girls in primary schools. But her approach has been to give only the girls who are planting trees. They plant trees and then they get the sanitary pads. So that is her unique approach, because she's also someone who is promoting issues to do with climate change. So she merged the two so that it sounded unique. So whatever you're doing, we know people have done a lot now, and you might be thinking, no, I cannot do this because others have done it. But you need to find a way of becoming unique in your approach so that those who are reviewing your application should be feeling like, okay, this is something different. Right. Yeah, I think we are on time. We are supposed to end at 8:30, but that also depends if we have many questions. We are really expecting questions, guys, or comments, or just feedback. How has been this presentation to you? And what should we expect? And then one thing which I wanted also to mention about fellowships, the usually ask also your plans for the future. So you don't just say we are doing this, we are doing this, we are doing this. You should be able also to show what are your bigger plans in the next 5 to 10 years, because You need to be thinking big. At the same time, as Mervis mentioned, we need also to be very conversant with the Sustainable Development Goals or Agenda 2063, so that when we are applying those things, we should really ensure that we are responding to some of those goals. Okay. Yes, Jose, you have raised your hand.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to, I just would like to get something clarified. Many people actually, when they apply for fellowship, they actually have the tendency of saying that I'm opening a business or I have a business and we are making this money and X and ABC. I just wanted to say that I've also been part of the review and interview process of YALI, and most of the people still make confusion the existence of their own enterprise, maybe for-profit enterprise or even non-profit enterprise. The real objective of business is actually not to make money, but to solve problems in the community where people are. So most of us who actually have business, when we apply, we continue talking about money. We continue talking about, I want to be millionaire, I want to be trillionaire. That's not the objective of a business. And probably many people who are actually attending this webinar will be applying in the future for Mandela Washington Fellowship. Just in case YALI opens again, some of you will be applying. And we also have traveling scholarship if possible. So the existence of a business, for-profit and non-profit organization is not initially to make money, but to solve problem in community and to bring prestige. So we should be very clear when we actually fill out the forms, when we actually apply for fellowships, especially when we already have business. So that's what I had to say.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for that comment. I think I just want also to chip in to say there's a difference between a business, being a business person and an entrepreneur. So what Jose is mentioning is that when you are presenting yourself, it shouldn't be something that you are just mentioning about profits, profits, and profits. You should be mentioning about what your business is solving as a problem in that community. For example, if you are in a community where people are growing a lot of tomatoes and then they're selling and then maybe they're not making a lot of money, and then you are in that area with a machine making tomato sauce. So you are in entrepreneur because now people will be bringing tomato to you to make tomato sauce. You are solving a problem instead of them just having more tomato going bad, as an example. So the business that we expect from young people, young leaders, is the business that is solving a problem, not where you're only focusing on becoming a millionaire and then people continuing to suffer because you are milking from them from what they are producing. But you should be part of solving problems and creating this world to be a better place for them. So that's the thing, because when you these fellowships, both YALI and Mandela, they have three, they call it tracks. They can take you for civic leadership, public management, or business management. So if they pick you for business management, it's because in your essays, you have presented yourself as an entrepreneur. If they pick you as for a public management track, it means maybe you are in the public space, either in civil society or in government, and then you are solving some problems as a young person in that space. Civic leadership is also about more of human rights, or you are fighting for certain causes. So yeah, you need to really present yourself as someone who is bringing an impact to society, not just asking for you to be picked and then you come back, continue making profits as usual. And then someone has asked if we approach you for a review for essays, are we going to pay something, or it's for free? We start with Mervis. Are you going to offer your services for free or you are a consultant?
Hi, Jimmy. I usually do that for free for my mentors because I have like a group of my mentors as well. So I usually do it for free. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. So it's gonna be for free for Mervis, as well as for me. It's free if you're asking for me just to check, because there are certain situations where someone has an idea but cannot make an S, and then he wants you to make the whole application. That's a different story. But if it's just for guidance, then it's for free. Okay.
Yeah, and just to add on that, like I like when I'm reviewing this, I don't expect like people will just give me the questions. Okay, here are the questions. We should do them together since like we are mostly busy with work, business, and all that. I just expect someone to draft the essays, and then I just go through those essays and maybe instruct them where they can do better, like where they've done well, and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Matthews is asking, how can we contact you, Mervis? Mervis is also in our WhatsApp group. So I'm sure when you want her to help, you can always talk.
Yeah, sure. We can talk through the group, and yeah, you can get my contact as well.
Yeah. All right. I hope the presentation was very clear. People do not have really a lot of questions, though we expected a lot of questions. Yeah, and I think we need to utilize this time that you are still young guys to apply for these fellowships. Most of the fellowships are for people from the ages of 18 to 35. And the moment you hit 36, some of these opportunities won't be there for you. So if you are still young, please take this time to apply for those fellowships. Some of us now are ancestors. I think from next year, I want to be able to apply for fellowships. But then we are here to share this so that whenever you're applying, then you can always reach out to us. But it's very important to realize that this is the time that you need to go for these applications. Okay, there are some feedbacks that we're getting. Dumisani says, I've enjoyed the webinar and I've benefited more. I hope there are more to come. Yeah, we are having this time and again. And yeah, I think the main objective of why we're existing as executive is just to create this platform where, as young people, we should be able to interact, share our ideas, and some of you are experts in different sectors. You should also be more flexible to be contacted or to contact us if you want to present a certain topic to young people. We are going to give you that platform to present. This coming Wednesday, we have a session about mental health. You are also free to join. We have an online reading club where people are reading one book per month, and you're also free to join that. And when we have read a book, we have a session at the end of every month where we are concluding together about that book before starting a new book. And you will see that through our pages, we have already posted about our special guests for those sessions. So we are also looking forward to having some of you as our special guests for these sessions. We believe there's a lot that we can learn from each other, and we learn twice when we share what we have. All right. Are we good to end here, or we still have people with the questions, guys? All right. Maybe as we conclude, I'll just randomly ask for some comments from different people, and then we conclude. I'll start with the Patience Mwenye Konde. If you have something to say before we conclude, then I'll also go for someone else after Patience.
Thank you so much, Mervis, for the wonderful presentation of fellowships. I must say, this is really actually. I've always been skeptical of applying fellowships, thinking it's for people like me, but seeing that you, the youth, have been successful in fellowships, I'm also motivated to do so. So thank you so much for the
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then we go to Comfort.
Okay, hello everyone. Am I audible?
Very much audible.
Okay, so what I would like to say is just that I'm very grateful for this opportunity. You know, knowledge is really something that is precious, and for you to just give it to us for free, it's really something that I'm very grateful for. And also, I would like to thank the presenter for today, Mervis, that thank you. Previously, when I see those fellowships, I thought that I'm not qualified. Like, I'm not, yes, I don't have what it takes. I was just so scared of the whole process. But then, for after breaking it down like that, after giving us all those tips, now I know how best I can present myself for put the work that I've been doing out there so that I could qualify for those opportunities. And what spoke to me most was where she said that she got the confidence to publicly speak in front of people. So, like, I feel, yes, I'm a shy person. I'm trying to work on that. But in the past, I used to think that people that take part in those kinds of opportunities are those that are confident to speak in front of people. It's like public speaking, they're just okay. But for her to say that she used that as a platform where she could also get that confidence to publicly speak, it has really spoke to me and it has boosted my confidence as well. So I'm very grateful for today. I'm very grateful to the presenter and of course the organizers for the whole session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that has just reminded me one thing. And most of the fellowships, they are not asking for qualifications like, do you have a degree? Do you have a diploma? That you are making in your community. That's why I said it is very important that we should start something. Even if you start a girls' football club, it is going to mean a lot in your application. Sometimes we are reaching to 10 people and we think this is a small action. But if you are going to present in your essay and it shows the passion that you have for that, it is going to also give you opportunities to be in platforms that you have never thought you would be. So thank you very much, Comfort, for that comment. And it should act as a motivation and an encouragement to all of us not to give up. Just this week, someone left our WhatsApp group. And then I asked the person, why have you left the WhatsApp group? And she said, you know, I think that is not, it's not my level. You guys, it's another level of people who are in that WhatsApp group. Sometimes we lose battles in our mind before we fight them. Let's have the courage to do what other people maybe are doubting about us and then just keep going. So yeah, thank you very much once again, Comfort, for that comment. There's another, someone says he has a question. Who is this one? Yeah, Mervis says most people have what it takes. It's a matter of crafting the essays in a creative way. Very true. Very true. Sean Ngambi, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question to ask.
Yes.
Okay. It mean that every fellowship has to pioneer or he has to be be somebody who is personal development you're applying about. Does it mean that you have to necessarily to be eligible enlisted that we should fellowship?
You are breaking. I don't know if you managed to type your question in the chat box.
Right, I'll try to type.
Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah, so we are still getting comments from different people. Tendai, is your network stable that you can speak? No, I think either you're muted. Okay. Noel Moforo, do you have anything to say? Okay. We go to John Peter.
Yeah, okay. This is Laura.
Noel, yes?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Actually, I like this presentation because I have been like trying to apply for some, but they're not successful. But still, I'm still researching much about the importance of the fellowship and why I can one time probably be a candidate to go for a fellowship. It's my dream at least to also attend education in other countries, which I've been dreaming about, like overseas. So I was researching to see what is the one of the simplest ways of reaching out to those countries. Therefore, one of it was by attending the fellowship. So when you get entry into the country, you can also try to apply to some universities or to some learning institutions. So if you are lucky enough, you can apply for visas and switch from being a fellowship attender to a scholar in that country. So for those like Jimmy said to say, if we are still young, we have to build in our minds, think outside the box to say how can I utilize the chances that I have right now. Because for some of us, yes, we are above the ages that we cannot continue applying for such. But for those who have the opportunity that they can be taken, let's just say when we get there, let's just not think to say when we go, we come back. It comes an opportunity for us to also do further studies in those countries. That's what I wanted to contribute. I have enjoyed the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think Mervis will be leaving anytime now, but she has helped to answer one of the questions from Sean. I think Sean asked about does everyone who is applying for the fellowship has to pioneer something or be a social entrepreneur? So the answer is if you don't have a project or you're not an entrepreneur, then you can talk about your work. Just make sure you explain your role clearly using the STAR technique. So you can also present about what you are doing in your current job, the role that you are playing. E.g., you are working as a project officer, IT officer. Explain how your role is crucial to the organization or project you are working on. So I think that answers the question. Okay. I've shared a number of links. Please visit those links and feel free to be in touch with us. I've also shared our website link. You can visit the website to see what we are doing, and soon we are going to have maybe a very big webinar just to let you know what we do as executive age. And if you are willing also to join us as volunteers in different districts where you are, you can be our ambassadors. We are free to work with anyone. We are trying to give people work experience through what we are doing, because sometimes we are applying for something and they say we want someone with 2 years or 5 years experience. You should be able to mention I've been volunteering in this ABCD position and I've been doing ABCD, because without that, then we are not also creating opportunities for ourselves. There are not all opportunities which are already out there. Some opportunities you need to create. So let's create these opportunities together, guys. Having said this, I hope we do not have more questions. We are going to continue discussing a lot of these other things on our WhatsApp group. You are free to pose your questions on our Facebook page. We are available 24/7 to help you. Otherwise, I should wish you a very lovely evening. And once again, thank you very much for joining this session. We are going to see you again in our next sessions and trainings. So wishing you a lovely night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.